Brother, there's a lesson coming for you. And no matter how many warnings you hear, how many stories other men tell you, how many red flags you convince yourself don't apply to your situation, you're still going to learn it the hard way. Every man does. The lesson is simple. 5 words that will either save you or break you, depending on when you finally accept them. Don't trust women blindly. Now, before you shut this off, hear me clearly. This isn't about hate. This isn't about bitterness. And it damn sure isn't about pretending women are evil, because they're not. This is about understanding something fundamental, something that nobody taught you, something your father should have whispered in your ear before you ever fell in love. She is wired differently than you. Her love operates on a frequency you cannot predict. Her loyalty is tied to something you cannot control. And if you don't understand this, if you walk into love with blind faith and romantic fantasies, you will be destroyed. Not because you loved wrong, but because you assumed her love would work like yours. And in that assumption, brother, lives the wound you'll carry for years. Let me tell you what no one prepared you for. You gave her everything, your attention, your time, your future. You built plans around her. You saw her in your vision of what life was supposed to be. You trusted her with the softest parts of yourself, the parts you don't show anyone else, and she left anyway. Not because you did something wrong, not because you weren't enough, but because one day she woke up and the feeling was gone, and once the feeling left, so did she. That's the cruelty no one warns you about. She didn't leave when you failed. She left when you were still trying. She didn't leave when you stopped loving her. She left when you were still planning how to love her better. And while you were building the future, she was quietly dismantling the past, erasing you from her mind before she ever told you goodbye. You thought loyalty meant the same thing to her that it means to you. It doesn't. You love with permanence. You love with vision. When you commit, you endure. You push through hard seasons because that's what a man does. You don't abandon ship when the waters get rough. But her, she loves in snapshots, moments, emotional Polaroids that feel real when she takes them, but fade the second the feeling shifts. And when that shift happens, she doesn't fight for it. She walks away. Quietly, slowly. And by the time you realize she's been gone for months. You just didn't know it. And here's where it gets worse. The hardest part isn't that she changed. The hardest part is that she didn't tell you she was changing. Not until it was too late. Not until she'd already written the story in her head that made leaving okay. Not until she found the soft landing, the backup plan, the next chapter that didn't include you. You were the last to know your relationship was over. That's not an accident. That's how it works. A woman's loyalty is tethered to her emotional state, and her emotional state is not a fixed point. It's a tide. It rises, it falls, it shifts with the moon of her internal world. And if you build your life on that tide, you will drown. Not because she pushed you under, but because you trusted water to be solid ground. This is her nature, not her fault, not her flaw. Her nature. A lion is beautiful, majestic, but you don't put your hand in its mouth because it purred at you once. You don't trust its nature to change because it was gentle today. You respect what it is and you move accordingly. The same is true here. You can love her deeply, you can connect with her fully, but you must never surrender your judgment. You must never believe that her words today are a contract for tomorrow. You must never trade your vision for her validation, because the moment you do, the moment you hand her your identity and say, "Hold this for me," you become a leaf in her wind. And wind, brother, doesn't care where you land. But here's what most men never see coming, and it's the part that breaks them. The distance doesn't start when she leaves. It starts weeks before, months before. In the micro moments you convinced yourself didn't mean anything. Her texts got shorter. You told yourself she was busy. Her touch became mechanical. You told yourself she was tired. She stopped laughing at your jokes. You told yourself it was stress. She became distant in bed. You told yourself it was hormones. But deep down, in that place you don't let yourself visit, you knew. You felt the shift. You just didn't want to believe it because believing it meant admitting that she could leave, that she might already be leaving, that the woman lying next to you was already somewhere else entirely. And then comes the moment. She's on her phone more, laughing at things you didn't say, texting people she won't mention, and when you ask what's wrong, she says nothing. Let me tell you what nothing means. Nothing means she's already made her decision. Nothing means she's waiting for the right time. Nothing means she's preparing her exit while you're still standing in the relationship like a fool, hoping your love will be enough to keep her. It won't, because by the time she says nothing, her loyalty has already expired. You're just the last one to get the memo. Now here's the part that's gonna sting, because this is where you realize you did this to yourself. You trusted too soon. You gave her access before she earned it. You opened your chest and handed her your heart before you knew if her hands were safe. You confused chemistry for character. You mistook her excitement for commitment. You thought because she chose you in the beginning, she would keep choosing you. But here's the painful truth. A woman doesn't fall in love with comfort. She falls in love with presence, polarity, power, the tension between what she has and what she wants. And when you collapsed that tension, when you became too available, too predictable, too easy, something inside her started to die, not in her head, in her body, in the place where attraction lives, and she couldn't explain it. She didn't even understand it herself, but suddenly, you weren't the man she admired. You were the man she managed. You weren't the man who challenged her. You were the man who needed her. And that need, brother, that killed you. Because you thought emotional availability was intimacy. You thought vulnerability meant dumping your fears in her lap. You thought if you just showed her enough of your wounds, she would stay forever. But she didn't want your wounds. She wanted your strength. She didn't want your explanations. She wanted your leadership. She didn't want a man who trusted her blindly. She wanted a man who trusted himself completely. And when you gave her your uncertainty instead of your certainty, she felt the imbalance, the loss of polarity, the collapse of attraction. And while you were busy doing everything right, she was already looking for what felt wrong. What felt dangerous, what felt alive. She found it in someone else, and you're left standing there wondering how loving her more made her love you less. But here's where the story turns, because this pain you're carrying, it's not the end, it's the door. Every man must walk through this fire. That moment when the woman he trusted most, the one he gave everything to, becomes the one who shattered him. That moment when he realizes his love wasn't protection, his devotion wasn't a guarantee, his loyalty wasn't matched. And in that moment, something inside him breaks. But that break isn't destruction, it's surgery. It's the death of something that needed to die. The naive boy who believed fairy tales, the romantic fool who thought love was enough, the blind man who trusted words over patterns, promises over proof, feelings over facts. That man has to die. And what rises in his place is something forged, something sharper, something unshakable, a man who no longer gives his soul away for affection, a man who no longer builds castles on shifting sand, a man who loves from strength, not need, from clarity, not fantasy, from ownership, not desperation. This is the birth of discernment, the end of blind trust, the beginning of real power. You don't become cold, you don't become bitter, you don't become cruel, you become wise. And wisdom is the only thing that protects you when the next storm comes. So how do you move now? How do you love again without being destroyed? This is what separates the man who heals from the man who hardens. You stop trusting words, you start trusting patterns. Any woman can say she wants loyalty, she wants commitment, she wants a man who communicates, but what does she actually respond to? What kind of man gets her attention? What kind of energy makes her lean in? Watch her choices, not her declarations. Watch how she treats you when she's not happy, when she's bored, when she sees a better option walk by. That's when her character is revealed. That's when the mask slips. Because the woman who folds at the first sign of discomfort was never there to build. She was there for the high, the validation, the emotional sugar rush, and when that faded, so did her loyalty. You don't know if a woman is trustworthy until she's been tested, until she's been uncomfortable, until she's had the chance to betray you and didn't, until time has proven what her mouth only promised. So you move slow. You watch close, you reward consistency, not chemistry. You let her earn access, not demand it. And when a woman gets offended by that, when she says, "Why don't you trust me? Why won't you just believe me? That's your answer. The right woman won't demand your trust. She'll ask how to earn it. She won't need you to lower your standards. She'll rise to meet them. The woman who guilt trips you for guarding yourself is already telling you what she planned to do with the keys once you handed them over. Trust is not about how much she says she loves you. It's about how much she respects your boundaries. And anyone who asks you to drop them is already preparing to cross them. So here's who you become after this. Here's the man that walks out of the fire. The strongest men don't hate women. They just stop trusting blindly. They love with discernment. They lead with clarity. They give slowly, observe carefully, and speak with intention. They don't check her phone. They don't interrogate her friends. They don't obsess over who she's texting, because they know if she betrays them, she loses them. Simple. No drama, no begging. Just silence. Just gone. That's the energy you move with now. Not fear, clarity, not control, consequence, not paranoia, principle. A man who says, I don't trust words, I trust behavior, is a man who has been through the fire and came out forged. And women, the right women, don't resent that. They respect it. They feel safe in it because it's real, it's consistent, it's not swayed by flattery or manipulated by tears. You are not broken for not trusting easily. You are not cold for pulling back. You are not damaged for having walls. You are protecting the kingdom within you, because every time you trusted too soon, you paid the price. Every time you gave the benefit of the doubt, you lost something real. Time, energy, pieces of yourself you can't get back. That's not weakness, that's education. And only fools ignore the lessons that pain tried to teach them. So here's the truth, brother. Every man learns this the hard way. That trust is not a gift, it's a currency, and you don't spend it where it hasn't been earned. You don't build your identity on her affection. You don't anchor your peace to her presence. You don't hand your future to someone who's still deciding if she wants to stay. You love, yes, but with your eyes open. You give, yes, but with boundaries. You open up, yes, but only to those who've proven they can hold what you offer. And when you live that way, when you stop handing out trust like free samples and start requiring it to be earned, something shifts. You stop being the man who gets destroyed, and you become the man who commands respect. You don't trust women blindly anymore. And that doesn't make you cruel. That doesn't make you bitter. That makes you whole.